Hey fishers, seriously, hope we get some good weather for this weekend. If you're up in the Yucabine River yesterday trying to catch a fish, you would have been facing blizzard conditions, 200 metres of snow, like you would have been blown away, seriously. But the bright side to that is, makes the fish run. They love it. Don't know if the fishermen do, but it's been pretty amazing. There's been a lot of good fish getting caught up there over the last month or so, and it did have a quiet patch when the water went clear, but after all that snow and rain, she'd be pretty well spot on again. They'd be running like crazy. So if you get a chance, get up there. But back to our standard, Dartmouth, good. Happy with that, plenty of fish. Mulwala, the drawdowns happened, and it's pretty hard to get in. I think, I'm not sure, just check, I think you can get in at the yacht club still, but I'm going to check that in the next hour or two when they all get out of bed down there and find out what's going on. But look, I tell you now, the fishing there was been spectacular over the last month or so. Been a lot of good fish coming out of it. Hume Weir, how exciting is that place? Still haven't heard of the trout to start, but going back, I was talking to Meso actually down there, and he said going back over his books from last year, they didn't really start until the second week in June, so we're pretty well close to it now, and then they start to get better and better as it goes on. But we'll hear a few big trout come out of the Hume Weir in the near future. Redfin in the Hume Weir, fantastic. They're getting plenty of them. He actually caught me a feed of reddies the other day and brought some up. I was pretty impressed with that. Actually, nice big fillets of redfin. One of my favourite fish. Haven't had a chance to get down there myself over the last couple of weeks, but he figured I needed a feed of redfin. You reckon I was wasting away to nothing? So look, seriously, those fish are fantastic. Get down there, get stuck into them. Little yabbies if you want to fish with bait, worms even okay, but certainly the old vibes and blades and soft plastic, as per normal. Got to hunt around to find them a bit. Once you do, spot on. Murrumbidgee River here. Look, it's really frustrating at the moment. Fantastic fishing, plenty of cod, a few yellows, but plenty of cod. And the biggest issue is it's up and it's down and it's hard to get the boat in some places, that sort of stuff. But the fishing has been good. Put in a bit of time, bait fishing in particular. Scrub worms, chicken hits, yabbies. Big trick with yabbies are just crush the head. They need a little bit of smell at the moment because there's a fair bit of colour in the water. If you're going to do any lure fishing there, the Wagga is one of the better lures to use in that because it'll handle all different currents, and also it works well at dead slow retrieve as well, so it's a great cod lure. But if you're into casting and stuff and casting spinner baits, it's a bit of a trick at the moment. Fair bit of current, and it's going to be right through this summer, I reckon, so just keep that in mind. When you're buying spinner baits at the moment, seriously, there's a few different types of spinner baits. Forget brands and all that, they're all, anyone can make a spinner bait, don't really matter. But the critical thing is the design of the spinner bait. When you're working faster water, which we're going to have most of this rest of the season, right up until probably Christmas, willow leaf spinner baits are going to be the way to go, I can assure you. When you cast them, and that's a typical Colorado blade spinner bait, typical willow leaf spinner bait, pretty much the same except that back blade. What happens is, with the willow leaf spinner bait, it'll stay down deep in the fast current a lot better than what the Colorado will. It tends to lift a bit, so the willow leaf is the way to go. Keep that in mind. Chermit River's still fishing well, even though it's high. Some nice trout coming out at the moment, so I'm really impressed with that. Doesn't matter what you use, bait, lure, fly, go and get into it. They may not drop it between now and the end of the season, but just learn how to fish it when it's high. Blowering Dam, really starting to move now. Some very big cod coming out of Blowering. There's been 13, 14 over a metre in the last 2 weeks. Mainly on big soft plastics. Biwas and mag drafts seem to be the most consistent. But so they're getting a few casting. Trolling is producing as well, so it's really good. But hard bodies like the Wagga, like the large hammerheads, big ACs, the 90s in the ACs are doing the job really well. Getting some good fish out of there, so it looks real promising. Some nice redfin out of Blowering as well, some good quality reddies out of there, occasional yellow belly. If I was going up chasing yellows, I'd try the black rubs around the trees. They seem to be hanging tight on the timber. Not that there's tons of timber there, but you will find them doing that, I can assure you. Talbingo, very good. Plenty of trout out of Talbingo at the moment. A few reedies coming out of it, so it's looking promising. Eucambine, Tantangra, Jindabyne, all fishing really well. Bait fishing off the bank with scrubworms and power baits, doing the job quite well. Very happy with that. And if you want to go and catch some spawn run fish, like I said, the Eucambine River and the Thredbo River, absolutely cracking at the moment. But geez, make sure you're rugged up, ready to go. Fly or spin, doesn't matter. Remember, you can't use bait in those areas. Just got a good report from Wagga. It's getting better day by day. There seems to be some very good catches of cod coming out of that at the moment. Not as many as what Blowering is, but some quality fish. It's really starting to happen up there. Burrajuk, the odd big cod coming out of there. There's a few getting caught, again, casting of a nighttime surface lure or swim bait type fishing. It's not too bad at all. And also Windermere fished exceptionally well last weekend. Grubs on the trees. The way to fish Windermere at the moment seems to cover the options. And by the way, don't forget Old Man Creek. It's not bad. It's worth the effort throwing a few surface lures around. And Old Lake Albert still fishing well. How good is that? So we've got tons around us. Don't be shy. Get out there, put a warm jumper on, get stuck into it to get fish. Compleat Angler's Fishing Report for this week. We'll catch you next week.